At Thanksgiving, my family raised a toast and said that I was no longer a member of the family, but later. Thanksgiving had always been a cornerstone in our family, a time when we gathered to share stories, laughter, and gratitude. This year, I was particularly looking forward to it, eager to reconnect with everyone. As we sat around the table, the aroma of roasted turkey and freshly baked pies filling the air, my sister, Evelyn, stood up, her expression unreadable. "We've taken a vote," she announced, her voice steady. "You're no longer considered part of this family." A stunned silence enveloped the room, quickly replaced by a chorus of cheers and nods of agreement. I felt as if the ground had shifted beneath me. Trying to maintain my composure, I reached into my bag and pulled out a folder, placing it gently on the table. "I see," I said quietly. "In that case, you won't be needing this." Evelyn's curiosity got the better of her. She opened the folder, and as she flipped through the pages, her face turned pale. She suddenly screamed, a sound filled with horror and disbelief. "Before we carve the turkey," she had said earlier, rising from her chair with that rehearsed smile, "there's something we need to address." The room had fallen silent. Forks paused midair. As she continued, "We've decided you're not family anymore." The announcement was met with applause. My cousin, Laura, clapped enthusiastically, while Uncle Mitch raised his glass in a toast. Even my mother laughed, saying, "Well, someone had to say it." I sat there, stunned, staring at my plate. The stuffing had gone cold, but my blood boiled. My father didn't even look at me, just sipped his beer and muttered, "It's probably for the best." "Wow," I said, pushing my chair back slowly. "You all actually rehearsed this." Evelyn's grin widened. "You've been toxic for years. We're just finally done pretending." "You're not family," my mother added, reaching for the cranberry sauce as if discussing the weather. "It's unanimous." I looked around. No one spoke up. Not one person. "Good," I said quietly. Then I reached into my bag, pulling out a thick folder and placing it gently in the center of the table. The sound it made cut through the laughter. Evelyn blinked. "What is that?" I smiled, leaned back in my chair, and folded my arms. "Why don't you find out?" She snatched it up and ripped it open. Her mouth twisted into that familiar smirk she always wore when she thought she was winning. Then she turned the first page and stopped smiling. Her face turned pale. Her eyes scanned the next page and the next. Then she screamed, a blood-curdling, horror movie kind of scream. Her chair crashed behind her as she bolted upright, slamming the folder shut as if it had burned her hands. "You monster," she cried. "You messed up, twisted weirdo." Gasps echoed around the table. Joel, her husband, snatched the folder and opened it. His jaw dropped as he looked at me. "Is this?" I nodded once. "It's all real," I said. "Every word, every receipt, every screenshot." The table went dead silent. You could hear a fork clink in the kitchen. My mother's mouth opened, then closed again, like a fish gasping for air. "You were so sure I wouldn't fight back," I said, standing up slowly. "So sure I'd stay the quiet one, the doormat, the cash cow. But guess what?" I leaned over, looked Evelyn dead in the eye. "Your little show? It's over. You want to know what was in the folder? I'll get there. But first, let me tell you how we got here. The decision to exile me didn't begin that Thanksgiving. No, it started long before, built slowly, steadily, like sediment in a riverbed. And I can tell you the exact bricks they used: snide remarks, convenient forgetfulness, betrayal dressed as duty. I was never the shining star in our family. That title belonged to Evelyn. Evelyn, with her flawless smile, her glittering achievements, her uncanny ability to lie and charm in the same breath. She could ruin someone's day and have them thank her for the experience. Me? I was just quiet. Reserved. I kept to myself, never needing attention. And that made them uncomfortable. They mistook silence for weakness. At 19, I moved out. Paid for my education on my own dime. Worked 2 jobs. Never once asked for help. Meanwhile, Evelyn was on her second failed major, backpacking through Spain to find herself, and eventually came home to marry Joel, the walking resume who could network with a brick wall. Their wedding? I paid for half. My parents couldn't swing it, yet somehow found the cash for a Caribbean cruise the next month. I didn't complain. I never did. Even when they jokingly referred to me as the family accountant, I just smiled and kept helping. Dad's dental implants? Covered. Mom's overdue utility bills? I wired the money. Laura's college tuition when her scholarship fell through? Handled. They said thank you, but always with that tone. The one that hinted, of course you'd help. You don't have a real family of your own. And maybe that's what it came down to. I'm single. No spouse, no children, just me in a small apartment that stays clean and quiet. To them, that meant my time and money were public domain. Evelyn, in particular, treated me like her personal emergency fund. When Joel lost his job, she called. When her car broke down, she called. When her daughter needed therapy and the insurance didn't cover it, she called. I always answered. Always helped. Because I told myself, this is what family does. But helping became obligation. Obligation became expectation. Expectation became demand. The jokes at dinner grew sharper. Oh, brought the good wine again? Must be nice to afford it. Early, huh? I guess when you don't have a family to manage. I wish I could just work overtime and escape like you. And eventually, the Barbs lost all pretense. You're so cold, maybe that's why you're still alone. You don't understand real stress. You're just bitter no one needs you. But they did need me. Every week. Every month. In private. In shameful whispers and late-night texts. Then came the breaking point. A text from Evelyn. Hey, can you co-sign for a loan? Joel and I want to open a wellness cafe. I replied. No. Her reply. Wow. Really? That was 3 months before Thanksgiving. 3 months of cold shoulders, one-word replies, and total silence. No birthday calls. No dinner invites. Natalie blocked me after posting a meme about cutting out toxic energy. But I didn't just sit there. I started documenting. Not out of pettiness, but self-preservation. Bank transfers. Screenshots. Emails. Every single one. Over 5 years, I had sent more than $75,000 to various family members. Let that sink in. $75,000. $7,800 for Joel's rehabilitation. $2,200 for Evelyn's emergency dental work, which turned out to be cosmetic veneers. $1,400 for Dad's back treatment. $11,700 for Mom's credit card debt. $6,500 for Laura's out-of-state college move. $4,200 for what was supposed to be a crisis but ended up being a family getaway to Bermuda. Not once did anyone offer to repay me. When I stopped saying yes, I became the problem. So I compiled everything. A folder. A truth bomb. Inside. Transfer confirmations. Emails and texts requesting money. Screenshots of Evelyn calling me manipulative to her friend because I denied the loan. A timeline of every payment over 5 years. Facebook and Instagram posts where they ridiculed me. I even had a screenshot of Evelyn referring to me as a cash cow with no backbone in a group chat I wasn't supposed to see. So when she opened that folder at Thanksgiving, when she screamed like she'd been burned, it wasn't because she was surprised. It was because she was exposed. Each page dismantled the lies, one by one. And while they reeled, I stood quietly, watching as realization set in. I didn't speak to hurt them. I spoke to end it. And this wasn't even the end. The silence that fell after Evelyn's scream wasn't empty. It was heavy, thick with the weight of truth, shame, and the sudden clarity of consequences. My mother, Marjorie, looked like she might faint. Joel, clutching the folder, flipped to a page near the back and froze. His lips parted slightly as he read, then reread a particular line. His eyes didn't move from the page. This says, $4,000, for a hotel in Charleston, he said slowly. On my credit card. Who's Amara? Evelyn's head turned sharply. Don't start, Joel. He looked up, his voice tight. Why were you in a hotel for 3 nights, with someone else on my card? The silence was louder than any reply. Marjorie tried to interject. Can we all just calm down and talk through this like a family? I turned to her and said plainly, let's be reasonable. Let's talk about the time you called me a parasite, while depositing a check I sent you. She blinked. That's not fair. We were under a lot of stress. No, I said, my tone firmer. You were under stress. And I bailed you out. Every single time. And the one time I say no? I'm the villain? My father, Douglas, finally spoke. You're making this bigger than it is. Families argue. It doesn't have to mean anything. I looked at him. My voice dropped. You let them do this to me for years. You saw it. Heard it. You knew what was happening and you let it happen because standing up to them would have been hard. He didn't deny it. He didn't even look at me. Evelyn slammed her hand on the table. You're just bitter no one needs you anymore. No, I said, standing up. I'm not bitter. I'm done. She laughed bitterly. You sound pathetic. Look at you, bringing a folder like it's a court case. Trying to make yourself the victim. I stepped forward. And you're proving, right now, that you only cared about me when I was funding your life. Marjorie raised her hands. Let's not turn this into a circus. Oh, this isn't a circus, I said. It's a reckoning. You chose to help us. Evelyn shouted. No one forced you. And yet somehow, I said, you expected it. Every single time. Until it wasn't help anymore. It was my job. And when I stopped, you threw me out. You didn't want a brother. You wanted a bank account with legs. Joel was still reading the folder. Evelyn, is all this true? He asked, his voice hoarse. She didn't answer. You told me he was unstable. Controlling. Vindictive. He paused. You said the money was just his way of keeping you down. Evelyn's hands curled into fists. He was turning everyone against me. I wasn't, I said. You did that all by yourself. The room was quiet again. A deeper kind of quiet. One where nothing can be unsaid. Then Marjorie leaned forward, her voice softening. We may have overreacted, but we're still family. Families fight. We move on. That's what we do. I shook my head. You're not hearing me. She tilted her head. What do you mean? I'm not asking for peace. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm telling you, I'm finished. Evelyn scoffed. Oh, stop. You've said that before. I looked her directly in the eye. Not like this. I reached into my coat and pulled out another envelope. It landed on the table with a soft thud. Douglas sighed. What now? Joel grabbed it before it slid off the edge. He opened it, read the first line, and stiffened. What is this? He asked. Power of attorney for Mom? Revoked, I said calmly. Medical proxy? Revoked. Emergency contact? Removed. I signed it all last week. As of this moment, I am neither legally nor emotionally responsible for any of you. Marjorie gasped. You're cutting us off completely? Completely, I replied. Starting now. You're being selfish, she said, her voice cracking. We made mistakes, but we're still your family. I looked at her, unwavering. No. You're not. I reached for my coat, slipped it on, and stood there for a moment, just long enough to take in the room one last time. Plates untouched. Faces frozen. The folders still open in front of them like a wound. Then I walked out the door. No apologies. No dramatic send-off. Just silence. It was bitter cold outside. But I didn't feel it. As I stepped off the porch, something uncoiled in my chest. Something old and heavy and worn. And for the first time in my adult life, I felt light. I didn't drive home right away. I stopped by the lake near my childhood home. The one where my father used to take me fishing. I sat there for hours. No music. No phone. Just me, the still water, and the quiet. And you know what? I didn't cry. Not because it didn't hurt. It did. But because I finally knew what peace felt like. The morning after Thanksgiving was silent. There were no calls, no apologies, only stillness. It felt surreal. I kept expecting someone to knock on my door, to send a message, to explain. But nothing came. The next day was more of the same. And for a moment, I thought maybe they had heard me. That maybe the folder, the truth, had settled into them like a stone in water, causing ripples that might lead to reflection. But on the third day, the silence broke. First, it was a missed call from Marjorie. Then another. Then a voicemail. We were angry, David. But we're still your family. You can't mean this. I didn't answer. Then a text from Evelyn. You've ruined everything. Joel is filing for divorce. Are you happy now? Then another. Something's really wrong with you. No normal person does what you did. Then Douglas. You went too far. We all did things we regret. But what you did? That was over the line. Your mother is devastated. Fix this. Still, I said nothing. I thought the guilt would come. That I'd lie awake replaying it all, wondering if I overreacted, if I was too harsh. But instead, I slept. Peacefully. Deeply. No more waiting for the other shoe to drop. No more dreading every buzz of my phone. No more late-night Venmo requests disguised as emergencies. Instead, I heard myself think for the first time in years. I started waking up early again. Made coffee slowly. Went for long walks. I finally booked all the appointments I'd delayed: dentist, physical therapy, even counseling. Not because I was broken, but because I was finally allowed to care for myself. I updated all my emergency contacts. Removed every family number. Changed passwords. Closed and froze joint accounts. Blocked Evelyn across every platform. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about boundaries. About ending a pattern that had consumed most of my adult life. A week after Thanksgiving, I received a message from Laura, my cousin. The one who had clapped when they voted me out. I didn't know you paid for my tuition. I'm sorry. I followed the crowd. You always helped. You were the only one who ever really did. I didn't respond. But I read it twice. A few days later, I got another unexpected message, this time from Joel. I filed the divorce papers. Everything in that folder? It all matched up. She lied to you. She lied to me. I should have left sooner. You did the right thing. I didn't believe you at first, but I do now. It wasn't the closure I expected. But it was real. That message landed harder than I anticipated. Not because I needed his validation, but because it showed me that maybe someone had listened. Then, I did something I hadn't done in years. I applied for a job in a new city. Not to escape, but to start. I had spent so long staying close to home out of obligation. So long thinking, what if they need me? Who will take care of them? And now, I didn't have to ask those questions anymore. I wasn't the caretaker. I wasn't the fallback plan. I wasn't the doormat or the emotional ledger anymore. I was just me. I reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in years. People I had ghosted, flaked on, avoided, because family had always needed me. And the most shocking part? Some of them had read my story. The folder. The dinner. The fallout. They sent messages. You did the right thing. That was brave. We're proud of you. No one asked for money. No one asked me to be the bigger person. No one said, but they're still your family. Just kindness. Pure, quiet support. One of them, Vince, asked me, "Do you regret it?" I paused, then answered, "Only that I didn't do it sooner." I thought that was the end of the story. But people like that, people who believe love is transactional, don't let go quietly. December came quietly. For the first time in years, I had no plans for Christmas. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilty about it. I thought peace would arrive like a celebration, like some grand epiphany. But instead, it came as silence, calm, honest, and healing. It didn't last long. December 22nd. A message from Marjorie. No words. Just a photo. Their living room. The tree. Lights. Ribbons. And an empty space beneath the tree where my gifts used to sit. The caption read, "It doesn't feel the same without you. Emma keeps asking why Uncle David isn't coming this year." I stared at the image longer than I should have. But I didn't reply. December 23rd. A call from Evelyn. I let it ring out. Then came the message. "I know things went too far. But you don't have to punish everyone. Just come by for an hour. For Emma." 2 minutes later. Also, Mom and Dad are behind on the mortgage. I know you don't care anymore, but the bank called today. There it was. Wrapped in softness, still the same ask. Still the guilt. Still the strategy. I blocked the number. December 24th. A text from Douglas. "You've made your point. We get it. But enough is enough. We need help. We're still your blood." That night, I poured a glass of wine and sat by the fireplace. No tree. No noise. Just me. And the silence they used to say would destroy me. I was grateful for it. January. A call from an unknown number. Is this David? Yes. Who's calling? My name is Mark. I'm contacting you on behalf of your father. He mentioned you're still listed as the primary executor of the family trust. I paused. I revoked that role 2 months ago, I said. It's been finalized. A pause on his end. I see. Your father said he couldn't reach you directly. They're in a bit of a financial bind. Of course they were. I ended the call without another word. February. A letter arrived. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting immediately. Marjorie's. Perfectly neat. Like a teacher's. 3 pages. Page 1, regret. We said things in anger. You've always been the strong one. We didn't realize how much we leaned on you. Page 2, guilt. Your father's health isn't great. Evelyn is alone now. We're worried about Emma. She's struggling. Page 3, the hook. We're selling the house, but the mortgage is underwater. Just a little help to get us through. Please, David. Do it for your father. Do it for the family. I held the letter. Let myself feel the things they wanted me to feel: shame, duty, responsibility. Then I folded it. Stood up. Walked to the kitchen. Dropped it in the trash. They didn't want me back. They wanted access. To the old version of me, the one who said yes, who paid quietly, who sacrificed without question. But he's gone. I moved. Took a new job. Bigger apartment. Cleaner slate. I started volunteering not because anyone asked, but because I wanted to. I started making slow coffee in the morning. Reconnecting with friends I'd drifted from. And the most surprising part? Some of them had seen my story online. The folder. The dinner. The fallout. They reached out with simple messages. That was brave. You did the right thing. We're proud of you. No one asked for money. No one said, but they're still your family. Just quiet support. Vince, an old friend, asked me, do you regret it? I paused. Then said, only that I didn't do it sooner. I thought that was the end of it. But people who only know how to take never let go cleanly. A few days ago. One more letter. Just 3 words. We're still family. No context. No apology. Just the same hook. And for the first time, I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just stillness. I tossed it away. Cooked dinner. Turned off my phone. Final thought. If you ask me whether I did the right thing, I'm not sure. But I know this. I'm no longer surviving. I'm living. Thank you for watching the video. Like it if you watched the video to the end, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a nice day.